Hello, welcome to my Thanksgiving episode. Today, we're going to discuss some very serious stuff. We're going to talk about what we're grateful for and thankful for, and the fact that I have way too much light all over me. So let me shut this one off. No, that's too little light. I don't know what's good lighting, what's bad lighting. I'm just here in the studio trying to record a quick little episode for you guys. This thing dangling in here, this is already a chaotic start. I'm over on the producer side of things today to record you guys this very specifically serious and strict episode about being thankful. You can tell by my scrunched eyebrows. I needed to come on to create the perfect ambiance. I came right from work. I was so excited to open up a pack of Pokemon cards that got shipped to this studio. So I got that done. And now I'm here to talk to you guys about being grateful. Actually, I had to call Booth Babe up. I know we haven't seen her in a while. Actually, you guys have never seen her, but I have seen her very much so recently. And that's one of the things I am probably most grateful of. She gave me the idea to do a segmented podcast today. I gave her a quick call and I said, hey, I'm stuck. I'm blanking at the studio and I know I need to do a podcast for this week. Just give me a topic, a theme. She said, talk about what you're grateful for. And the biggest thing I'm most grateful for is her. And, you know, there's all the things that I've talked about, you know, over episode to episode. Now that we've been living together for over a year, we've been together for like a year and a half. Whoa. More than that. Wow. Almost 2 years now. We've already been together. It's flown by. I literally have memories of like, you know, this time last year that it feels like it was like 2 years. Like, I feel like I've just always known this woman. She's been such an amazing part of my life. It's truly, you know, such a spectacular thing to have such a good friend that really gets my humor and at times doesn't. And it, you know, humbles me a lot, especially as someone who really, you know, tries to impress people or like make my personality about being funny and comical. So, you know, when she doesn't laugh or doesn't find something that I thought was going to be really funny, kind of, you know, sets me back and goes, oh, yeah, that's right. That one wasn't that funny. And like, she's a good comedic critic. So sometimes I get her to laugh when I'm not even trying, and that she has a different laugh when I do, and I can't imitate it. I don't even know what it is, but when I hear it, I go, wow, that one got down to her roots. I made her laugh, and when I make her laugh, that's when I feel like the funniest, because like I said, she's super critical about, you know, all my jokes and what I find funny, and when I'm trying to be funny, that when she actually finds something that I do or say funny, I know it's actually a really funny joke or bit or whatever I'm doing. But besides the comedy, another thing that I'm super grateful of her about is the best friend thing. And she's a best friend like no other, like no one I've ever been friends with. I recently started going to, some of you may know the local New Bedford, the Dual Room. It just opened up. Cam Langlios. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He owns 508 Sneaker Store. He also co-owns a gym and has another 508 Streetwear, I believe it is. And he kind of opened up a little like hobby room in the Kilburn Mill where he invites people down to play Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit. I've gone through his collections every time I've gone there, bought more cards or traded for some cards, and it's just been so fun to get back into dueling. So I'm super grateful for Cam and the Dual Room and all the other stuff that he's doing. But with that, I've, you know, been getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys might know, especially if you follow me on Instagram, I've been doing a lot of pack openings. I've been doing this Professor Oak challenge. In front of me, I have all my Pokemon. And this is my setup for that Pokemon pack opening stuff. I'm getting close to that goal. But this is the part about being my best friend that, like, no one else does. And I don't want anyone else to. And no one's a less of a friend for not doing this. But all my life, when I was super into Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, in high school, because I was into it, as a kid, I just liked the cool monster. I never really knew how to play. I just knew that from whatever I watched on the show, thought I knew the rules, and that's what I would play with my brother and all that. But then in high school is when I like actually, started to get back into it. I was playing the same way. Like I know the rules of the show. And then I met a friend at high school who's like, I know a friend who played competitively. He came over. We made this small little group of like Yu-Gi-Oh players. He taught us how to play. He got us like super into it, playing competitively. I went to a bunch of tournaments and stuff. I got so into it, but like, as high school goes, some of us got girlfriends. We didn't have as much time with each other. I'd try to like, find time to play with other people when I could, or like find new people to play with, because I'd never liked going to the local tournaments or whatever alone. And, I'd ask my dad to play, but like I would come home from school at like 2:30. I'd go down to the basement and literally just build a deck, pretend to do a deck build like video, put together the deck, shuffle it up, reorganize it, take cards out of the sleeves, change it up a couple cards of the deck, do another one, like over and over again, take all the cards out of my binder, put them all back in a different order, take them out of a tin, reorganize like the 6 tins that I had my card, like over and over and over again. Every single day, I was just by myself playing Yu-Gi-Oh, just like begging someone, like even my dad, I was like, I'll teach you how to play. Like, no one has time for that. Well, as Booth Babe has kind of seen, how much I've been getting back into it. One night, actually it was the day before I went to the duel room the second time, I'd been talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had made a joke after the first time, like, oh, I'd love to teach you how to play. And she's like, oh, okay. So the week goes by. On the Saturday, we're both kind of finally got a chill Saturday. We're just hanging out. And I kind of like lightly said it, like almost in a joking way, like, hey, do you want to learn how to play? We got some time. She's like, yeah, I'd love to. And I was like, what? So I taught her, the basics, the fundamentals that I knew. Like I wanted to teach her in a very basic way, because like I'm very bad at teaching like the things that I'm super excited and passionate about. Like Google Docs and Google Sheets is the easiest thing for me to teach. But teaching Yu-Gi-Oh, like okay, well, you could also, and like I forget when I'm teaching rules versus teaching strategy, and I just get so caught up and so excited. I'm having too much fun teaching her, but she's learned me, she knows me, so she's, overcoming some of the times that I was getting a little too intense and getting her a little frustrated. She was just like, it's okay. And, so I taught her how to play. We played a couple times. And then Sunday goes by, a little busy, didn't really have time to play or anything. But I said to her, like, oh, we could play if we get back from the thing. We went to the flea market or whatever. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll play. And then we didn't have time. Yesterday, I got home from work. She was supposed to be getting home a little earlier than expected because like a meeting got canceled. So I had everything set up. When she got home, I was planning to cook some beef and broccoli, and I was all excited because when I was talking to her on the phone, we talked about like, oh yeah, we could play for like an hour, and then I'll go cook dinner. When she got home after the traffic or whatever, I asked her, I'm like, "Are you a little hungry?" She's like, yeah. Okay, like, what do you want to duel or do something and then cook, or do you want to just cook? And she's said, and we've talked about this, she's like, let's just get this over with. And I put on a pouty face for the next like hour and a half. And she could tell. She asked me like twice while I was cooking and doing stuff. She's like, hey, what's wrong? Something going on? Like, and I was like, no, it's fine. Like, what? Like, I wasn't like, I was hurt by it, but it wasn't personable. Like, I wasn't hurt by her. It was just kind of the same thing that, like, not that I ever really got my dad to play, but like every once in a while I would try to show my dad my collection or my new deck or whatever, just because I like to show it. I don't know. It was like so fun. for me to like go through my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And so I kind of felt like that pattern had repeated itself a little bit. That when she's like, let's get this over with, like, yeah, I'll do this just for you. And then as we were finishing up dinner, I, just, I believe in communication. Communication's super important. So I kind of, and I'm still getting better at it. There's not every single time that I do this, but sometimes I'm not going to say it in the moment because I'm still kind of feeling something. But I just said to her, I was like, yeah, it kind of hurt my feelings when you said, let's get this over with. I was like, it would have been better for me if you were like, I don't really want to play. Like, I don't mind playing with you, like, on the weekends. Like I'm doing this for you. Like, saying, like, I'm doing this for you. Like, so I'll play sometimes. It's not really my thing is one thing. Like I'm okay with that. Like, that's easier to hear than what I felt like I used to hear, like, in high school and stuff, where, like, yeah, let's like, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to do this. I just know you need to show me your card. So go ahead. And then they're like on their phone, not paying attention, doing whatever they want to do. Anyways, like, just to be nice. And I like used to hate that. So I wasn't mad at her, but I like, my feelings were hurt because it kind of like reverted me back to that moment where I'm like, wow, no one likes the thing that I like. Like, I just want to find people who like the same thing. So then after she did the dishes and she comes back over, she's like, can we play some Yu-Gi-Oh? And I'm like, do you actually want to, or are you like doing this because you feel bad? She's like, no, I like actually want, like, I was like, we just started watching Mandalorian. We just got to the middle, like, weird spin-off Boba Fett 7-episode series, whatever. I was like, because we have, plenty of time. We could watch an episode of Boba Fett or whatever instead. She's like, no, I think I'd rather play Yu-Gi-Oh. And I'm like, all right, like, and I could feel her genuine, like, interest. So, like, yeah, like, I'm picking it up. I get this and whatever. So, she was just like, can you just set it up for us? And when I finish up the dishes, I'll play with you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to come. This is not, like, imagine telling high school me that the girl I love, my partner, not only isn't, like, makes me feel embarrassed that I play Yu-Gi-Oh in high school, but is like, yo, can we play? Like, I remember going to my first couple of tournaments and just seeing those, like, early e-girls that are into Yu-Gi-Oh and be like, oh my gosh, imagine if I got to come here with a girlfriend. That's the coolest thing. Like, I get to play Yu-Gi-Oh and hang out with a girl. What? So seeing how excited she's getting about, like, playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and then, like, she even said it, like, and I was trying to, like, all right, I taught her how to play. She knows how to play. She knows, like, the basic rules, and she's kind of starting to, like, formulate strategies with the cards that I set up in the deck for her. Not that they're great. Like, it's a very basic, if you know Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just like a basic warrior deck. Like, literally a couple equip spell cards, a couple of low-level warrior monsters, a couple of high-level, and then just some, cards like Dark Hole, Solemn Judgment, that kind of thing. And so she's, like, getting into it, like, all right, learning the timing. She's still learning, which she's picked up on it a lot quicker than I have. Setting your trap cards, she'll forget from time to time, but, like, she while we're playing, she's like, is this one of the ones that I'm supposed to put face down? And I'm like, yes, you should have put that face down. Let's just play like you did and whatever. Because, like, it's more of a, because, like, I went to go do something and then she tried to play Solemn Judgment out of her hand, and I was like, well, you had that in your hand, you could have set that, like, let's call that equal. If you guys don't know Yu-Gi-Oh that well, this part of the episode might not be the most fun. But anyways, I will continue. So she's, like, just super getting into it. And then I wanted to kind of, like, expand it and kind of show her some new stuff. We played 2 duels last night for an hour and a half. She is still in the learning process. But not only is she in the learning process, she's reading every card, which, okay, as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, even when back in the day when my dad was teaching me chess and it's a turn-by-turn game and you're waiting for your opponent to make a decision, that can be bored. Like if I'm playing someone in Yu-Gi-Oh and I'm waiting for them to make a decision, usually I'm like, come on, like just go, just do something. But to me, the fact that she's like reading the card, she's not trying to make a decision. So the stall, the delay in the game isn't about a decision being made. It's simply about like she's actually trying to learn this game. And I'm getting the hots for her playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It like when I say it out loud, I know how silly it sounds, but it's really such an attractive thing that like this girl is so into me. And then she's not just doing it because she's into me and she's like just trying to be nice. She's like getting into it. She's like having fun with it. After we played a couple duels, we're getting ready for bed. I forgot what I did. I did something, and her response was like a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh! And I didn't even catch it at first until I looked at her, and she's got this huge grin on my face, and I was like, oh, you were making a Yu-Gi-Oh! Pun! Oh! And oh my goodness, I can't tell you. Like, I mean, I'm very much so, like, my brain kind of lives in the present. I don't know if it's an ADHD trait or not. Maybe you guys, can agree or disagree with this, but most of the time I live like directly in the presence. I talked about my Miami trip where I went to the Inter Miami game, saw Messi play, and then we were gonna get picked up in a parking lot, kind of like half a block down the road or something like that, in a BJ's parking lot. So me and my brother ran in, and I happened to see some Pokemon cards. So I bought some Pokemon cards, got a crazy deal because it's at BJ's, so they're selling them wholesale. And I got out, and then we got in the car. I called Booth Babe, and I just kept telling her, like, oh my gosh, I got this great deal on these cards. I'm so excited. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to open them, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait. I'm nervous about bringing them home, blah, 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 whatever. Like, hang up. And she texted me back like a couple of minutes later, like, I can't believe you just went to that Inter Miami game, and then the only thing you had to tell me before I went to bed was that you bought Pokemon cards. And I was like, got me. You got me. And it's like, it's not that I didn't enjoy the game and didn't have a blast at the game. It's just that was the more immediate stimuli that I had that I was only thinking about. So, what was I saying? I was explaining like so I'm so grateful for Booth Babe, for her being in my life and all the things that she does for me on a daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, now I can say yearly basis. But it's all these like little things that like really make those moments so special, because I love going and, doing a trip to the flea market or to the Big E or doing King Richard's Fair with her. I like going and, seeing my nieces with her. I like going and doing, like a birthday party or this, or hanging out with her friends and doing a pizza party and a this party or whatever. I like going out to dinner and being romantic, or snuggling up on the couch and binge watching like Mandalorian, a bunch of episodes in a row, or whatever we're doing. I like really enjoy my time with her. But like, it's this thing that I don't know if I've ever really experienced or had, where someone's not doing something for me out of their kindness of their heart, but out of like genuine interest. Like they're interested in me, so they get interested in the things that I enjoy. I don't know how else to explain that. I hope that like I'm able to articulate the feeling that I have about that, like the true sentiment behind what I just said, because I don't want people to change or whatever. And I also don't want people to like do things just for me. Like if she was just like what I had the problem with when it hurt my feelings was like, yeah, let's get this over with. Like, this is something you want to do, I'll just do it because you want, if you'll stop talking about it, kind of thing. I'm like, I would rather you not do it at all. Like I'll go figure it out. Like even from early on with the podcast and stuff is like, some people, like if I met up at like a party or something and I'm like, oh yeah, I'd like to do the podcast. They give me all this like, energy and motivation. And then as we're texting leading up to the day, it's just like, yeah. And they're kind of giving me this like flaky attitude. I'm like, dude, I don't need you to do the podcast. Like, it's not like it's super helpful and appreciative because it like helps me build content. But, you know, if you're not going to be comfortable, you're not going to want to do it. Like, I don't want to put people into doing things that they don't want to do, because I don't like doing things that I don't want to do. For me, that's like huge. Like, even with this podcast, there's times like I was supposed to do this on Sunday, then I was supposed to do it again on Monday. And, you know, I was supposed to do it last week and then like 2 other days last week, but I just was like, nah, I'd rather do some editing. I'd rather give myself some time. You know what? Today I want to just do some Pokemon openings. So I came down to the studio and I didn't do the podcast. That happens to me all the time. Like if you don't want to do it, like, I don't think you should force yourself to do it. This is going back to like what me and Jared talked about. It's like, don't force it. Don't just do it just to do it. So I hate when people are like, even when it comes to like me and Booth Babe, like doing the dishes, like, don't just do it just to do it. Like, because I won't do it. Okay, you just go and do it. Like, that was a bad example. I'm trying to think of some other things. Either way, like learning how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, if you want to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'll teach you how to play. But like, if you're just trying to find something to do with me, then let's find something that we both enjoy. Like, you don't need to adopt the thing that I like doing. So it's someone who, you know, is just a joy to be around. She's just interested in certain things. And there's been other things that I've tried to like, you know, interest her in, and like the Pokemon cards and stuff too. It didn't really have an interest, but like she does like playing board games and stuff. And I feel like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a fun middle ground. So I had no idea that it would go this far, but holy crap, it went this far. And this is just the one thing I'm grateful for. Like, honestly, this past year and like, you know, especially like lately, we've been communicating a lot. And I'm not going to get into specifics about what we've been communicating a lot. Communication's just always been really good with us. I think that's why, you know, it's been such an amazing, you know, time ever since I swiped on Bumble. But like lately we've been communicating a little more about the future and like our plans. And instead of just like, I feel like if I think about it, when I would think about it, whether it was before I met her or even, you know, early into meeting her, when I start thinking about the future, I got super anxious and like nervous. Like, that person and the person I'm talking to or whatever is the person that I envision in my future. Like, that's the wife to my, and the mother to my children. Like, that's the girl. But it would make me super anxious. But now when I talk to her, like in after, you know, being together for so long, being so open and good at communication, like when I talk to her, like we talk about those future things and like my face lights up. I get that like excited, passionate, like bubble and like that little fire and that flame and like, oh, how do I do that? Like, what's the next step? Like, in the same way that when I even came across this 151 collection and wanted to start, you know, buying the packs and doing the things to complete this set, like I started to envision our future in that same way, whereas it's not going to be tomorrow that we have, you know, a 10-year-old and a 8-year-old, but I know already the steps that I want to start taking to like build and grow and create this family. And, you know, this person has just meant so much in this remarkably short time. I mean, I know everyone's timelines are different, and, you know, it doesn't matter what age you are. When you find the person, you find the person. But I think we've talked about it, well, at least one of the times that she's been on. So if you're ever interested, just pop into some of the older Booth Babe episodes. We've talked about like how quickly, like, I think we were an official like couple after like a third date. Maybe it was a fourth date. And we like, you know, she moved in after like half a year, like 6 months. She was already moving in. And now we've been together for a year, and like it seems like so much has happened. And I don't know how to explain this. It's like literally like I get this almost moment of deja vu when we went to like the flea market this past weekend, where that moment of deja vu felt like, oh, I remember doing this like 2 years ago. And then when I think back, I'm like, I remember where I was about at with the podcast when I met you. But I feel like there's been like, 3 years of the podcast that has existed in the 1 year of the time. Like she just makes time slow down, and at the same time it speeds up. Like everything's happening so fast, but when I'm around her, it happens so quick. I that's the best way I can explain it. I'm so in terms of grateful, I'm just the most grateful for her. The most grateful for a lot of things right now. I'm really grateful for kind of finding some hobbies to kind of get me through some of these podcasting ruts and some of these content ruts, like the Pokemon. And I'm really grateful that I've found a new hobby in Yu-Gi-Oh again, like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a lot different than collecting. Um, and I'm just so grateful that this podcast has got to the point that it's got to. Part of the putting this off for so long has been like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what to even think about. I just need to get something to rant. And I don't have Gio in the studio today, and I don't have this, I don't have a guest, and there's no recent topics I've really been on top of. And there's not like, anything that I want to showcase or specifically talk about. I did watch that new Jennifer Lawrence movie, and I was like, oh, maybe I could talk about that one. The one where she's like the cool girlfriend to this like nerdy guy. It was a weird movie. I'll say that. Interesting. Booth Babe was like asking if I wanted to watch Hunger Games. That's the next franchise that I think we're gonna kick off. But I was like, I need a little more time after seeing angry Jennifer Lawrence tits. It was just unsettling a little bit. Not unattractive. It was just like, I'm gonna talk myself into a hole here, but like, it was like, as a guy who sees Jennifer Lawrence, when I say Jennifer Lawrence naked, you should get excited. She's an attractive woman. We all can agree. But the scene that you see her naked is just like it's an angry scene, and it's just like you're not paying attention to the nakedness. You're just like imagine if I was in that scenario, I'd be freaking the fuck out too. Like it was, you know what? It was a good movie. I will say that. I'll end this on it was a good movie. But no, to really hone in on, what I'm grateful for. I wish I had a whole list, but I think my entire list is made up of things that kind of exist in my life because of Booth Babe. Or like even just, my passion, my positivity is around trying to be better for her and to be a positive asset in her life too. Like she makes me want to always grow and adapt and become better and better and better. And like, so things that she's not even directly correlated with, like she's helped me become better because I want to be this perfect person for her. And I don't know, she just makes me so happy and I'm just so grateful. And I'm grateful for a short podcast because these tend to get more views, but I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I got to get better, get in the habit of kind of adding that in as I'm definitely kind of creating a bigger YouTube presence or trying to. So thank you guys for popping in on, Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you guys got some great deals Black Friday. Hopefully there's some better deals that you have if you haven't finished your shopping for Christmas tomorrow, Cyber Monday. And the rest of the December, don't forget, it's not just about the shopping. obviously, I am a huge capitalist. Look at this. I got a shirt and tie on today. I came to you with my capitalist Christmas approach. But I want you guys to also think about the friends, the family, the people around you. Do something for them. Keep them in your lives. Reach out. Talk to them. I love them. Tell them to check out Ever Changing Vibe in this Booth Babe episode. Just kidding. But with that, I'm going to wrap. Quick. Maybe you clicked on it. Maybe you stuck around. Either way, happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas coming up.